than I said.
Winter? I barely know
Nowhere.
Gravitals!
Is that weed?
Run! Oh, okay, we're gonna do a tier list of which all tomorrow's species, human, post-human species, are the best stoners. All right, so first off, we have the Satyriacs. These guys are party animals. They have a bunch of orgies and rock concerts. They're thrash metal enthusiasts. They're epic. Definitely S tier. They definitely stay smoking on the daily. Almost, they're constantly high. All right, next up is the Amphicephalus, or the Amphicephali. While they are highly developed, I don't think that they would be smoking, because they're a snake within, like, a snake with hands, sort of. So they do have hands, and they do have intelligence, and they do have society, and they do have space travel, and they do have high technology, so I'm sure that some of them are stoners. But I do not believe that it is common, so for that reason, B tier. Next up, we have the Asteromorphs. They are highly intelligent, space floating people, gods. So, you know, they do have hands, they do have intelligence and technology and all that. So, but they are really smart, and I get the sense that they're kind of stuck up and don't have any chill. So C tier. So next up, we have the asymmetric people. I don't know. They have hands, sort of. They are somewhat intelligent, but for some reason I don't see them smoking that often. More than a Asteromorph, because they aren't like big brain nerds, geeds. So I'm gonna put them on tier with the Amphicephalus, so B tier. I feel like that's right. Okay, next is the author. This is an interesting one, because this is like the latest stage of whatever. So the author wrote All Tomorrows, and to create this history of humanity, you have to be a psychopath and a crackhead, and to live on Earth, and to ponder all this stuff, and the way he talks about humanity and the pointlessness of it all. Definitely big time stoner. I don't know if he's S tier, but I'm gonna put him in A tier for now, because yeah, first A tier. Let's go. Next up, we have the blind folk, mole rat people. They lived underground. I could see some of them smoking, but I don't. They weren't very intelligent, and they were blind. So C tier. They had hands and they could, but I don't think they did that often. Bone crushers, D tier. They communicate with shit, and while they do have hands and a beak mouth, just something screams no. Maybe I just don't like them, but D tier. Bug facers. This is interesting, because these guys are pretty prolific in the history of All Tomorrows. So, they had an advanced society. So I think some of them did definitely, were stoners, but I don't know. I feel like they're similar to the Asteromorphs in the fact that they're pretty smart, and they're also xenophobic, and I don't think I've met someone who's super xenophobic that is a stoner. So I gotta go for C tier. Okay, this one was hard for me. The colonials. So the colonials, I think, would be stoners, would be A or S tier, because they're suffering and they want to numb the pain. But they don't have hands, and only some of them have mouths. So D tier. They can't. Sorry, I don't make the rules. I don't even know what the rules are, but no. Next up is one of my personal favorites, the fingerfishers. They already kind of look like indie e-boy stoners, and they live on archipelagos, so they're probably like Rastafarians, and they live a simple life of fishing and eating and chilling on their island paradise. So definitely stoners, but I don't think they're on Ceteriax level of party and chill, so I gotta go for A tier. Next up are the flyers. They did have, intelligence, so they don't really have hands, but they have like fingers, so maybe. But I think it falls into the area of they probably didn't much at all ever, so C tier. They could have been stoners, but no, they probably weren't. Next up, hand flappers. No. Okay, Gravitals. Gravitals are easily D or just F tier. They are basically the snitches or the cops of the all tomorrows. They are also machines, so they can't smoke. D tier. Easily. Fuck the Gravitals. Me and my homies hate the Gravitals. Now, hedonists are what Satyriacs evolved from, but they weren't intelligent at all, so they probably couldn't use tools. They do have hands. They were kept as pets by the Q, so maybe they were given like catnip or something sometimes. C tier. Insectomophago. How do I pronounce that? Insectophagus. Insectophagus was the ancestor of the bug facers, but they're basically animal. They had some intelligence, I think, but they were mostly animal, so D tier. Oh, next up we got the cowboys. We got the killer folk. S tier. I mean, look at the drip, the hat, the coat. You know, they're cowboys. You know, they're smoking their cigars and they're smoking the blunts, and they stay chiefed up. You know, definitely S tier. We got the lizard tamers, the lizard breeders, the lizard guys. They are like monkeys, but they tame lizards. They, herd lizards. They're chill. They have hands. They aren't very intelligent, but for some reason I get a similar sense to the fish fingers, the finger licking fishermen. They B tier. Okay, lopsiders, D tier. I don't think they could, and if they could smoke, they didn't smoke, so no. This is an interesting one. I wish it wasn't cropped, but the mantelopes. The mantelopes were intelligent, and would tell folk stories and roam the lands, but they didn't have hands. And unfortunately, just like the colonials, as much as I think they would have shared the peace pipe, they couldn't. So D tier. Sorry guys. Sorry Mantelope fans. Next up we got Martians. A tier. They look like stoners. They're basically humans, but they're on Mars. So there you go. Alright, we got Modular People up next. They're evolved from the colonials, so they have that history of suffering, but they are also a weird tentacly amalgam of Lovecraftian horror, so I don't think that they'd smoke as much as I think the colonials would have, but they could have, and they lived a blissful life of relative peace and communalism. So for that reason, I think I'm gonna have to go either B or A tier. A tier, yeah. I'm surprised by me putting them there, but yeah, I think that they could definitely hang. Next up, we have the evolution or de-evolution of the Gravitals. So these guys are like the nanotech things that were the post-war people. The post-war Asтерomorphs turned the Gravitals into this thing. So they're basically robots. So no, they D tier. Parasite. They're literally a parasite. No, they're no. Beast people. Interesting, because they do evolve into the killer folk, and they do have some semblance of intelligence, but they aren't super intelligent. While I do think that the later stages of development of the beast people would have been sparked up, I don't think that they were that often. For that reason, C tier. Wait, what are these guys doing here? No, they're animals. No, why did I even put them there? What was my reasoning? I can't remember. That was the stupidest reasoning. The prey, the beast people's prey. They're basically hedonists. They're animals. They're just animals. They're like Mantelope, but without intelligence. So D tier. Okay, next up we have Pteros. You don't say pterodactyl, do you? It's pterodactyl. So Pterosapiens. Their advanced society had short lifespans, but they lived their lives to the fullest. They had libraries, they had globalist interactions, and no need for borders. So I gotta put them in an easy A tier. Definitely would invite to the sesh. The Q, D tier. Stinky Q. Ruin wanderers, or ruin haunters, excuse me. They are elitist. They did have some Star People technology, which leads me to believe they would have some pretty sophisticated bongs. But I don't think they had any chill, and they were very self-centered. So for that reason, B tier, just because they were kind of stuck up. So I don't think they were really that chill and could really hang in the sesh. I don't think they were really that stoners. I think they were mostly just elitist fucks. Sail people. This one's interesting because they were the finger fishers. They're basically pirates. They travel the seven seas. I think they're more like a rum. I think they're more alcoholics. I think they would be more like rum drinkers. So for that reason, C. Also, their arms are their tongues. I can't see them using their tongues to hold the spliff, so C. Next up, we got the human herders, or next up we have the Saurosapiens, who use the humans that used to breed and tame and herd them as walking flesh bags. They use them for transportation, and they use them for manual labor. They seem pretty chill, but they're also lizards. And because I put this lizard guy in B tier, I'm gonna put this lizard guy in B tier. There you go. That's my logical. Oh, next is another reptile-like thing, but no. You would think, oh, B tier, yeah, he put the other snake thing. No, these guys are shown smoking. S tier. Top of S tier. This is the reason I made this list. These guys are stoners till the day they die. They smoke every goddamn second of every day. S tier. Next up, we have the Spacers, which were the pre-Asteromorphs. I'm going to put them in C as well. I don't see them smoking that often. Plus, they got a goofy haircut, so they couldn't hang. Star People, I'd say they're similar to Martians, but they're higher intelligence, and they were focused on science and stuff. So I would put them on a similar level to these guys. I feel like they're a little prudish, a little stuck up, similar to the Ruin Haunters, so B tier. Striders, they do have hands, but they're really tall and very fragile. I don't really know what they did besides walk around. They aren't very smart either, so I can't see them using tools. As much as I want to put them in C tier, I put them in D tier. Sorry. So the subjects are pretty weird because they take a lot of forms, and they were genetically modified by the Gravitals. They are the bug facers that were genetically modified. So they could have been made into a bong. Or a record player that plays Snoop Dogg on repeat. But they probably weren't. And they probably weren't allowed many luxuries. Probably weren't allowed the luxury of smoking. So, C tier. Fish, dolphin, underwater, no. The symbiote is evolved from the parasite guys. They live in the brains of their hosts. While I don't think that they would smoke that often, they did have civilization, and they could easily use tools. They have mouths, they have hands. Well, I guess maybe the parasites don't, but their hosts do. I think in their free time they might have been stoners, because I mean, think about it, the chemicals go straight to the brain, and if they're feeding off the brain, they're getting high too. So it's like a mutualistic thing. A tier, I think. I don't know. Ugh, the Tempters. No. Big time no. 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 So the terrestrials were put on planets to watch the subjects, and make sure that no one rose up again after the war between the Asteromorphs and the Gravitals. So they're basically little Asteromorphs, but I'd say they're even more probably uptight than the Asteromorphs because they are regarded as prophets and gods and all that stuff on their lands, so D tier. Titans, I love them, but they're basically giant elephants. They do have intelligence, and they did have some societies, but they had, stumped feet, and the only appendage that they had was their trunk. So while they could have, I don't think they would have that often. This is controversial. I'm actually going to put them in C tier. They're huge, and I don't think they could figure out how to harvest a marijuana plant and use it, but they had trunks and they had intelligence, so it's possible. And for that, I'm going for C tier. This is another weird one. The tool breeder. Where do you guys think I'm going to put this? You'd think, oh, they're underwater. No, they're D tier or C tier maybe. No, I'm putting them in A tier. They definitely bred with some coral or something and made some sort of alternate plant seaweed. They made seaweed. Yeah, that's exactly it. They made a seaweed. And I think because they lived complex lives, they had developed space travel, they developed homes and all this stuff made out of biological material that they bred to make. I think they could easily have made a seaweed and found a way to smoke it through some weird hookah thing or some vape device. A tier. I don't know why. That's my headcanon, and I think it's right. And if you disagree, make your own list and send it to me, and I'd love to see what you have to say. Worms, F tier. They're worms. They're literally like worms. No. I think this is my final list. I'd say this is pretty in order. I might rearrange these real quick, but S tier, I'd say is in order. These guys smoke all the time, followed by these guys, followed by these guys. Yep. Okay, I'm feeling okay with this. I think probably these guys would go over these guys. Yeah, I think I would put the tool breeder up here instead. These are all, it doesn't really matter if it's in order. This is roughly it. That's my list for which all tomorrow's species would be stoners or could smoke the most and outsmoke you. Say thanks to the snake people because they're the reason that this list happened. I will see you all in the next video. If this gets enough positive support, like 5-10 likes, I'll read all tomorrow's and I will, I don't know, make another list or make some other content. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you all tomorrow. Get it? You see that one? That's pretty good. Oh my god, yeah. Thank you. Yo, thank you. Oh, you're too much. You're too much. Thank you. Oh, see ya. Yeah, next up we got the Sapiens, which use the evolution. Oh, shut up!